Okay, so for our Space Invader type game, I'm going to put mine in landscape mode, but so I'm going to leave mine in landscape mode, but normally you go to portrait. It's going to make your screen rotate though when you play the game from development to gameplay. So bird's eye view, create that. By being on bird's eye view, it'll mean that there's no gravity being in place, so the object doesn't fall. First thing we're going to need to do is bring in our ship. So to do that, we're going to import. Now you need to have saved your graphics somewhere. So I've got mine saved in my Google Drive. So I'm going to create an animation, files, ask me where I want to get it from. I'm going to go to Google Drive. And I need to click or tap on select so I can select two images. And they're going to be the two images that make my animation. So select the two images, click open. It needs a name. I'll call that fighter. Okay, and here's my ship then, so then I can go back bring my fighter up onto the screen, and that's our first step. We want to change the animation for that, so let's go to behaviors, because the thrusters will be firing too fast. Frame rate is going to need to be down at about 12 frames per second. So that when we play, hopefully our thrusters are going to thrust. Okay, so we need some buttons. So to do that, we're going to go to our global user interface and we're going to add a button. So go to user interface, buttons, bring in a button. So we need one on the left, we need one on the right. We're going to fade those out. So I'm going to change my opacity, drag that down so that they're fairly faint. Same on the other one. I'm going to rename the buttons. So this one's going to be called left. This button here, call that right. Okay, so let's go to the behaviors of our ship. So to do that, we need to change layers. So back to the main layer so we can pick up our ship. Now, for the behaviors of our ship, we need to make it that we are interacting with a button. So this is while touching, and we need to tell it that we're going to be touching the left button, so global user interface, and then we pick up the left button. And when it does that, we want the object to move. So that's going to be a transform. And then we're going move object, connect, move by, sorry. So move by, and we need it to move to the left, so it's going to go negative 0.2. It's going to take 0.2 of a second, and we need to turn off interrupt movement. Okay, so then our other button is exactly the same, except it's going to go positive 0.2. So the interrupt movement needs to be turned off so that we don't have to wait for you to release your finger before the event is activated. So let's go and bring in our second one. It's exactly the same process. Zero point 0.2, 0.2, turn off interrupt movement. Okay, that needs to be touching our button. Okay, so that should be enough that we now have our ship that can move left, can move right. Okay. Step one complete. You can bring in a background. So I can import, get something from your camera roll that you can use as a background. And when you play, then you can see you can move left and right. Now, you're going to move past the edge of the screen at the moment, okay? That's our next step, trying to get that to stop when it hits the edge of the screen. Well done, step one done.